Africa's biggest oil and gas event, the 2018 Africa Oil Week in Cape Town, South Africa. 1,500 delegates from 80 countries represented at the 25th anniversary of the event, and Ghana is not left out. The upstream regulator, the Petroleum Commission, is here to support a delegation from Ghana's Energy Ministry. Why is this conference so important to the country? Well, Ghana will for the first time hold an international roadshow for 6 oil blocks in the highly prospective Western Basin. Let's backtrack a little. President Akufo-Addo, the previous month, that was in October 2018, launched the country's first oil and gas exploration licensing round. Blocks 2, 3 and 4 were open for bidding, and deepwater blocks 5 and 6 were to be allocated through direct negotiations.
This is a big boost to the aspirations of investors who are looking for areas where they can make good returns. Moreover, our fiscal regime is investor-friendly. Apart from royalties, all other fiscal terms are based on profitability, rewarding investors for their capital and underwriting their investment risks overall.
In Cape Town this week, there is high anticipation for the bidding round, which will be hosted by Energy Minister John Peter Amewu.
This gathering presents us a huge opportunity to market what we have as a country. You will recollect that the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, launched the first licensing round, in Ghana, and as a follow-up, events of this nature show as an avenue for market sounding and also to market exactly what we have. The interests that have been shown so far is quite very huge, and it's very interesting to know that a number of international oil companies and also national oil companies have all shown interest in our licensing round. Since this being the first, we need to get it right and get it done properly. One of the challenges or difficulties that befall producing countries is when your licensing round fails in terms of when it's not well patronized. But I think where we've gotten to now, the interest is quite high, and we are extremely sure that the level of participation is going to be high. Number one, taking into consideration the prospective nature of the blocks and also how fast Ghana has developed from an oil field to an oil industry. Within a record period of less than 15 years, 12 years basically, we're now an industry, one of the players within the sub-region. And so for us, we will continue to market what we have, and we are hoping that this licensing round will turn out to be one of the most successful licensing rounds ever organized by any African country.
As a country, we remain very humbled to continue to be the host of the Africa Oil Week and do understand the role this gathering plays in shaping mutually beneficial partnerships between producing countries and investors in oil and gas.
After a successful opening of the conference and exhibition, the Petroleum Commission's Chief Executive, Egbert Fable Jr., started Ghana's quest to garner more interest in its oil blocks as he answered questions from potential investors at a prospect forum. He assured investors of transparency.
Companies like Tullow, Cosmos, Petro SA and the rest who are in the Jubilee fields, as well as ENI, are practical examples of the transparency in Ghana's payment systems when it comes to carried interest and cost oil as against profit oil. So our record is there unassailable in a sub-region, and I think that you have not heard of any litigation anywhere between Ghana and any investor with respect to earnings from producing fields. Ghana is a stable democracy. Ghana is a politically stable and also very mature country. Your investments are safe in Ghana. Looking at what's happening all over the world and also in the West African sub-region, if there's any place you should bring your money to, it is the Republic of Ghana. We are a nation of some 27 million people, very friendly people, and we will be waiting for you.
A rapturous applause, at least a sign of enthusiasm on the part of potential investors. And although the country was keen on attracting international investors, Deputy Minister of Energy Mohammed Amin Adam, when he had the opportunity to take part in a panel discussion, was quick to point out local content in the oil and gas sector was very important for government.
Companies should not see local content just as legal requirements, but they should see local content as part of their strategic operations of partnering with local people, of helping add value to the economy where they operate, so that the countries are not reduced to rent collectors, And this is why, again, we must have consensus on what the scope of local content should be. To what extent can companies contribute? We must understand that, and that should influence the kind of targets that we set in our laws.
Ghana began to pump its first commercial oil in 2010 after the discovery of the offshore Jubilee field 3 years before. The CNBC earlier in the year reported Ghana was on course for skyrocketing economic growth thanks to oil. This anticipation the government is poised to deliver on. With just a day more to hosting investors, Chief Executive of the Petroleum Commission, Egbe Febo Jr., makes clear there is no breaking of rules.
As we, seek to move to another level, one of the things that as a commission we are concerned about is certainty in our laws and regulations. And we just want people who come into our country to be firm in thought and also in action, that we are not a nation of men and what we think the law should be. We are a nation of laws, and you realize that we are very fair in dispensing the law. We are very fair and firm in ensuring that the right things are done, because we believe that these hydrocarbons are resources that we are holding in trust for generations to come. And we have no business whittling or depleting them without a conscientious and sustainable approach to ensuring that best value is gotten for all of these things that we are all doing today by reason of the fact that we are alive today. So we will work our fields and also think about those who come after us, and we encourage such partnerships in thought to enable us to drive and sustain our hydrocarbon sector.
And the day is finally here. Already, the number of potential investors trooping to the hall to learn more about opportunities in Ghana is overwhelming.
I deem it a great pleasure and privilege to be here to participate in this very important meeting marking the international launch of Ghana's first licensing round for petroleum rights. And I thank the organizers of the Africa Oil Week, the licensing round committee, and all the stakeholders who for one reason or another have taken part right down from beginning of the process to the launch as we are witnessing here today. This event, ladies and gentlemen, comes at an opportune time, taking into cognizance the importance we attach to this particular licensing round.
You need to show us your financial and technical capabilities, and you need to be able to show which particular block you want to prove that you have actually done your due diligence on the blocks that we are posting here. The mode of application is you have 4 copies to be submitted to the Chief Director of the Ministry of Energy, and we are just located within the ministry area there. But the check is non-refundable application fee of $10,000 in banker's draft should be paid to the Ministry of Energy. Please, if you make a mistake and pay it to the Chief Director, it will also be non-refundable anyway. But you will not have your documents.
The management of Ghana's petroleum resources is in accordance with the principles of good governance and transparency. We also have a robust regulatory framework which provides an enabling environment for increased private participation and investment in upstream petroleum operations in Ghana. We also, through our regulatory framework, ensure that there is a conducive socio-political environment that provides limitless upstream opportunities in a dynamic and steadily advancing economy. And of course, Ghana continues to be the most attractive destination for upstream investments in West Africa. This is an unassailable fact.
So then, how does Ghana rate the outcome of its first roadshow for the 6 oil blocks in the Western Basin?
It's a new beginning, as you are aware. Ghana, over the period, had been undertaking negotiation in terms of its petroleum licensing regime. We thought it's becoming more important to deepen that sort of understanding and begin to open the country to the global community. Having achieved some level of stability in terms of our democracy, we think it's time for us to begin to get some democratic dividends. And as a result of that, the competitive licensing procedures have been chosen. And as a country, we believe that's the way to go. The resources of this country, Ghana, you are aware, belongs to each and every individual that hold Ghanaian nationality, hold in trust by His Excellency the President. And on that basis, the only way we can demonstrate that the citizens of this country benefit from their resources is to undertake this open competitive bidding processes and to derive the maximum benefit from the processes. Eventually, this is why we started. And I must say very big thanks to the organizers of the forum, all the players, international companies, national oil companies that play a very significant role, PGS, who large extent, have been able to craft the procedures, the methodology for us to arrive here today. The chief executive of various state institutions, country, the Petroleum Commissions, the regulator, my deputy minister, the chief director of the ministry, all have played very, very significant role. And as you saw the turnout today, for us, it's massive. It's very interesting, and we believe that Ghana is going to be on the globe. This is not going to be the first time. This will be done almost every year when new blocks will be, showcased to the globe.
As of December 2018, the Energy Ministry said 16 oil and gas firms had submitted applications for 1 or more offshore blocks in what is now West Africa's first exploration licensing round.